Blood fever coming at ya.
Subscribe to Papa's YouTube channel.
We're out.
All right, everybody, this is John with Lead Fever. And what I'm doing here is I want to do a little video here. I'm going to show you how I sort my ammo. I sort it for weight. I'm going to show you how I check for rim thickness, a cheap, easy way to do it. I spot check for rim thickness, and most of the time the CCI ammo is pretty spot on. But I got 300 rounds here that I have almost completely sorted of CCI subsonic hollow points. It's the 1050 feet per second. It's a 40 grain hollow point, and these shoot pretty good. I don't have any CCI standard velocity yet. I've got like 3 or 4 boxes left. It's really not enough to sort out and do anything with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I sort this, and then I'm going to lube some of it with a white lithium grease to show you how I put that on. What we're going to do from now on, when we do these tests, we're going to do 3 rows on those targets that I do. We're going to do 50 rounds of unsorted, 5 10-round groups, 50 rounds of sorted, then 50 rounds of sorted with the lube added to it. And all of the sorted that I used is going to be the same weight range group. And the unsorted, of course, will be from, I have several more boxes of this. It will be a fresh open box that has not been sorted whatsoever. So I want to keep this test as honest as it can be, as analytical as it can be. I've had a lot of people say, well, why didn't you shoot some sorted ammo without the lube? And then that would give us a better indication of whether the lube is doing anything or not. I had already done that in the past. Those videos aren't up anymore. I don't have backups to show those, but I had already done the sorted versus the unsorted of the CCI standard velocity and several other ammos, and it really did not make a whole lot of difference. Maybe 2 or 3 flyers out of all the groups. But let me get this camera up here close to show you what I'm doing. And I'm going to share my method of doing this with you. And I'm hoping that you all can take this and use it for yourself. It's easy to do. It only took me about 30 minutes to sort out almost 300 rounds. And it really doesn't take that much time. So let me get this camera over here where we can look at everything up close. And I want to show you my little organizational method for doing this that works out pretty good. Be right back. Okay, folks, what I have here is I have these little paper bows that you get at the dollar store or Walmart or whatever, little Dixie bows. And what I do is I label them with this medical tape. I'll put a little piece of tape on the bow, on the rim of it, and I'll label it with the weights 50.5. Now, as you look at these, you will see these two have the most in it. This one is 50.4 grains. This one is 50.5. So what I do is anything between 50.50 to 50.59 goes in this bow. 50.40 to 50.49 goes in this bow. Here's the 50.3s, not many of them. The 50.6s, a few. 50.7, there's 2 of them. And then right here, this is the bow that I'm sorting from. So let me show you what I do. I have my scale turned on and zeroed. I just lay it on the scale and I make sure it's in the center. 50.39. So I put that over here in the 50.3 stack. Make sure my scale goes back to 0. Then we got 50.50. So that goes in our, this is what we call our median weight range. And what we're saying median, this is probably what the factory is expecting these to be because that's the most of them. 50.5 goes in there. 50.57. Most of these are going to be 50.43 to 50.4, 50.53 to 50.55. Okay, 50.45 goes in that stack. 50.45, there's a lot of 50.45s. 50.60 goes over here. And I just reuse these little bows when I sort. 50.42. So what I do is I group these together, 50.53. All these little bitty groups that there's not a lot of, I won't use them for nothing more than warming up the barrel or blowing whatever lube is in the barrel out. And this bigger group of 50.4 will be used in one test, and it will be used for the sorted. It will be used for the sorted unlubed and the sorted lubed. And then this bigger group of 50.5 will be used in the same test for the sorted lubed and unlubed. The unsorted boxes will be an unopened box of this. I have several more of these. I just got them today at Academy. Got the old crazy Academy theft-proof sticker on there, which I love so much. I will open a fresh box of these when I do the unsorted, and that's what will be used. It won't be sorted whatsoever. Now, I want to show you, this is not that much of a spread. This is the unsorted, so I have 4 piles here. And then this one little bitty pile over here with 2 in it. This little pile here has got maybe 10 or 12 rounds in it. Now, make sure our scale don't go off. In your scale, you need to make sure you've got it sitting on a level, sturdy surface so it doesn't fluctuate. I want to show you what the extremes are on this. 50.25. Okay. 50.16. And what I do with all these is I just throw them in one pile. 49.95. Now it equaled out. It calmed down to 50 even. So all of these over here I put into one little pile, and these right here will go into that same pile. These right here will go into that same pile. Those will be rounds that I will not use in the test. These 2 groups here will be used in the test. And I have that little bit more there to sort out. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how I check rim thicknesses. So what we do for rim thicknesses, we get our calipers and we get it turned on and zero it out. And then I have a 223 case here. You can use a 223 or a 556. And what you want to do is deprime it, or make sure you get a little file. What I do is I get a whetstone, a fine whetstone, and I set this on the whetstone with some oil, and I work it back and forth to where that primer dimple is perfectly flat. And what I do, and what you'll see here, I'll take one I haven't sorted. You can see a 22 shell will fit right down in that 223 556 case with the rim setting on top. So what we're doing is we're going to open up our calipers, and we're going to get it positioned on there and twirl it a little bit to where it settles down and it quits moving your number. Then you're going to zero it. So now we got all zeros. See, it doesn't fluctuate, it's zeroed. So now we take a round. If I can do this with both hands full, we take a round and stick in that case. We take our calipers again and we twirl it until we get a nice, even, steady number, and we've got a 0.0420. Okay, I'm going to stick that right there. We're going to see how much these fluctuate. 0.0420. I'm going to tell you now, these CCIs, there's really no sense in rim thickness sorting them because they're all pretty much right on the money. There's a 4.3. That's not much different. It's a little different, and if we have enough of them, when I go through these, I will pull them out. So there's a 4.20. Let me see, was this the 4.3? Let's look at it again. That's a 4.20. I probably did not have it settled out. I have not found more than 2% of these CCI rounds to have a difference in the rim thickness. And there we see a 4.20. The standard velocity is a 4.25 to 4.30. Okay, so that's enough of those to see there's not a huge fluctuation in the rim thickness. So that's really not worth the time to do. Our main difference in these are the shape of the projectile. And I just want to say one thing. The forcing bands on these subsonic rounds are much nicer than the forcing bands on the standard velocity. I wish they made this round in a solid without it being a hollow point. It will be more aerodynamic. They do make that in Europe. They offer this to Europe in a non-hollow point. I wish they would offer it here in the States. So, with that said, I'm going to get the scale out of the way for right now. And I'm going to take this group of 50.5 grains. And I've got my empty tray here. And I'm going to show you how I do this. Now, as far as these little bows, I just use this white medical tape and an ink pen. And I mark I just do it in tenths. 50.3 to 50.5 is basically what this wound up being. The extreme ends, there weren't that many rounds in there. So here's what I do. I take a little dab of this white lithium grease on my finger. It doesn't take much. It doesn't take much at all. Then I twirl the round in there and get it coated, making sure to get the forcing bands and the whole end of the projectile nice and even. Don't matter if you get a little bit on the brass, that'll make it chamber easier. And I had somebody leave a comment, hey, you can't put wet ammo, you'll have overpressure and it'll blow up on you. I've done thousands of these like this. And the SK ammo and the Lube ammo is wet as it can be. I've actually opened boxes of it that had the stuff dripping off the rounds down into the bottom of the box. So I'm not worried about that. A 22 round does not create enough pressure to blow it up. Now, if you had a squib load in there, yeah, you might have a problem. So here's what I do. I get it on there, and then maybe I'll get another finger that's clean and get the excess off. All I'm wanting to do is get that coated to where there's a good coat on all of the lead. And then I just keep stacking them in the box. And I just keep on working that until I get the number of rounds that I need. And for this test, I'm going to need 50 of them. So I'll get 50 of these lubed up, and I'll let them set. And hopefully Monday, I can go out and do this test with the CCI subsonic hollow points. We're going to do the white lithium grease on it. Like I say, we're going to shoot 50 rounds of the unsorted out of a fresh box. Then we're going to shoot 50 rounds of this 50.5 grain group unlubed. And then on the bottom row, we're going to shoot 50.5 grain group on the last row that's lubed. Then we can look at the unsorted, the sorted, and the sorted with the lube added to it. So that's all the grease you put on there. I mean, you don't want it sopping on there. You don't want it, just all blobbed up on it. You just want it coated. The only thing this is doing is it's making sure that you have the same amount of resistance going down the bore each time, and that it's not grabbing. Now, CCI uses a wax lube on their rounds, and to me, it's nothing more than paraffin wax, and it's a very thin coat. It's if you fill it, it's kind of got a little bit of a catch to it. It's not slick. It's not allowing them rounds to go down the barrel with the same velocity every time. So I think that's why the white lithium grease is doing a good job. I'm also going to do this same test with the subsonic with a mixture of chapstick and mineral oil. The mineral oil chapstick mixture and the white lithium grease mixture so far has given the best results that were usable. The liquid A-LOX, it was doing good until it gummed up the barrel, and then it started throwing shots, and it was making the chamber get carboned up really fast too. I'm going to try mixing it with a couple of other things. I'm going to try thinning it down and try it again too. But I just wanted to show you all how I do this. I've been doing all these tests and just briefly explaining what I do, but I haven't got into it, in detail. And I thought that would be the right thing to do, to show you just exactly how I do this, so you have the same results that I do. And I hope that that helps everybody. I'm going to continue doing these tests. I've had a few negative comments, not many. There's always somebody that wants to step in and say, you know, you're not doing it right. You should do it this way. Well, I'm doing it the best way I know, and I do listen to you all. And, you know, every time you tell me that you have an idea, I listen to it. And I'm going to continue to do that. And I'm not going to be stubborn. I'm not going to think that I'm the only one that knows what's going on, because that's when you start failing. You have to be willing to change. You have to be willing to take, you know, ideas and suggestions from other people. That's how all of my shooting techniques have come about, from watching others and picking and choosing what seems to work for other people and then implementing it into my style of shooting. And it works that way. Same thing with this ammo. The only reason I'm doing this is to help those that don't want to spend big bucks on ammo, where they can take some decent budget ammo. And, you know, I wouldn't try any of the Winchester or, you know, the Remington or none of that. That stuff is not really good. The CCI is about the only option that we have that we can improve on. The TAC-22 may be another one. But, and I'll say this much more. You want to stay away from high velocity. I have lubed several different types of high velocity that I didn't put videos up on. High velocity doesn't like the lube, not a wet lube. Maybe the dry paraffin or wax type lube that, you know, is doesn't have a lot of viscosity to it. The wetter lubes on the high velocity makes it worse. It makes it open up more. And high velocity ammunition is not, it's not accurate anyway. When you break over into supersonic and then come back down into that transonic zone, you start wobbling. That bullet starts wobbling in the air, and that creates a lot of problems for accuracy. So I like to stick with standard velocity, and standard velocity is subsonic. They call this subsonic, but as you can see right here, the feet per second is 1050, which is about 20 to 30 feet per second slower than what most of our other ammo is that we shoot. So I hope that this is helpful. I'm going to finish lubing up enough of these to get our test done Monday if the weather permits. This group over here will be another test. And, you know, I think that this is what CCI is trying to get all these bullets to be, but they're not exactly hitting that goal. And I think these are going to be close enough that if I use all of these in the same test, it's going to give, you know, close results. I wouldn't use these as the sorted, the 50.4s, and then use these 50.5s as the sorted and lubed. That would not be a fair test. So I just want to explain that. I'm trying to do it the most fair, most analytical way that I can. And the reason I haven't done all three, the unsorted, the sorted, and the sorted lube, is because I didn't have enough ammo, and it does get, you know, a little pricey to do this. So thank you for stopping in. Be looking for a video to drop Monday evening sometime, hopefully, on this test with the CCI subsonic. And in a few days, I'll be getting some more standard velocity, and we'll pick up the testing on it again. So this is Lead Fever. Hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got something out of it. We will see you in a couple of days. We are out.